So antidepressants, you don't see any change, good or bad, for at least 6 to 8 weeks. I would often feel like if I was having a bad day, I'd be like, you're putting this on. There's always that voice in my head saying, no, you're not sad, you're not depressed, you're fine. So I'm Grace, I'm 24, I'm a nurse, and I've been diagnosed with fibromyalgia since I was 21. So I've been on treatment for that, and that's antidepressants. So when I was first given the amitriptyline, I remember leaving the consultant's office, getting back into the car with my mum, and I was like, oh, I was given this, and she went, what is it? And I looked it up on my phone. I said, oh, it's an antidepressant. And my mum was like, what? Like, she was like, but you're not depressed, you have joint pain, like, why are you being given an antidepressant? So it took a long time for me to kind of wrap my head around the fact that I wasn't on them for the depression. I was on them for something else. Because like the medication affects your entire brain. It's not like a paracetamol where it only kills the pain in one area. Antidepressants just take the whole brain and mess around with it a little bit. So when you stop messing around with the brain, stuff that's kind of hidden can come out. Like the depression that probably came out then because it hadn't got the comfort blanket on it. I know the leaflets, they're terrifying because you open them, given a new tiny little tablet that's about this big, and you open the box and you take out the leaflet and it's this big and you're like, oh God, what am I putting into my body? But I only ever recommend reading the common side effects, because if you read beyond that, you'll just terrify yourself and you won't want to take the medication. Because if you look at the frequency of those side effects, they're very, very rare. The most common side effects would just be the dry mouth, the tremors, and you can have a bit of irritability while your body adjusts to because the antidepressants mess with your neurotransmitters. So you're gonna be a bit off for a while until your body gets used to it. And the suicidal thoughts and all that kind of thing will be more severe reactions to the medications, but they would be rarer. They help your brain produce more serotonin, and it's the easiest way to describe it. I think there's a lot more education, but I think at the same time there's a lot of self-diagnosing as well. And people going to their GP saying, I have this, I need this. And the GPs aren't questioning it like they should. That's where the therapies and all that should come into play. Yes, and I think the wait list for the mental health supports in Ireland are ridiculous. They are ridiculous. Unless you're about to jump off a bridge, you're not getting help. Which is wrong, that you have to get to that point before someone's willing to help you. So that's why I think a lot of people are jumping to the medications, because they can't get into the therapies. They can't get into the specialists. Antidepressants, their goal is to be a short-term treatment. Short-term could mean 6 years, but it's still short-term. That's always the end goal, is coping skills and how to self-regulate. Alcohol is a depressant, so it brings you down. So it kind of undoes the work that the antidepressant is trying to do. Same with marijuana, a downer as well. Anything that kind of can bring you down, you shouldn't do antidepressants. Anything that brings you up, you shouldn't do antidepressants. You know, any harder substances that are stimulants, your body's already trying to bring you up. You add something else in, it's going to bring you further up. That's when you can get really high anxiety. Therapy's great. I love therapy. I get a whole hour to talk about myself and someone validate my feelings and tell me that everyone else is the problem. You have options. It's the same with counselling. You don't have to go with the first option. You probably shouldn't go for the first option. Looking back, I'm like, why was I so ashamed? Like, I was a 19-year-old girl struggling